This is you right now, standing in the corner of a filthy alley. You were born in one of the most forgotten slums in America. Hope evaporates faster than water on hot asphalt in this place. Your parents vanished when you were barely old enough to remember them. You became an orphan in a world with only two options available. You don't have any photos of them at all in your possession. Your only memory is a blurry melody that haunts your dreams nightly. The sound of a piano echoes in your nightmares and brings peace. That obsession pushes you to do crazy things without thinking twice. You risk your life sneaking into gated communities to hear music. One day, fate seems to smile on you for the first time. You find an old piano sitting in a dusty pawnshop window. The owner is a man with gold teeth and a scumbag smile. He tells you the piano is a gem and costs $200. You empty your pockets and smash your piggy bank on the counter. You have exactly $98 saved by starving yourself for months. The owner pretends to hesitate and acts like he's making a sacrifice. He finally accepts your money with a fake smile spreading across his face. You walk out carrying the instrument with blind euphoria filling your chest. What you don't know is the piano has a cracked soundboard inside. The old man laughs as he counts your bills behind the counter. You run home, clutching the piano tight against your thin chest. Desperately, your heart bursts with music, and you think tonight will be amazing. Suddenly, a rough burlap sack goes over your head without any warning. You feel strong hands dragging you mercilessly across the rough pavement below. You try to fight back by kicking out, but it's completely useless. An icy voice whispers in your ear that one more move means death. You freeze completely and try to stay calm despite the terror inside. You realize you've been kidnapped by people who don't care about you. With a shaking voice, you try to reason with them desperately now. You tell them you're an orphan and nobody will pay any ransom. They burst out laughing at your pathetic attempt to save yourself here. One of them tells you that's perfect because they don't want money. They're looking for an easy mark that no one will ever miss. Your survival instinct kicks in and you start thinking of a plan. You wait a few minutes in silence, then fake a violent panic attack. You scream that you need to take a dump right now immediately. The kidnappers are disgusted by the thought of getting dirty from you. They stop the van in a vacant lot on the outskirts of town. They shove you out and tie you to a dead tree nearby. But they don't know an old criminal taught you how to escape. You flex your muscles hard while they tie you up tightly now. The second they turn their backs, you break free from the restraints. You bolt into the darkness like a shadow moving through the night. You leave them in the dust in just a few seconds flat. You're free, but then you stop dead in your tracks suddenly now. Your piano is still in the car, sitting there waiting for you. Any sane person would keep running away from danger right now. But you aren't sane, and without that piano, life means nothing. You turn around and creep back toward the kidnapper's car, quietly. With your heart racing, you grab your instrument from the van quickly. You flee back into the night, proving you'll die for what makes you alive. You get to your hideout, which is a tin shack barely standing. Your hands shake from adrenaline, but you start to play the piano. The keys are out of tune, and some don't even sound anymore. To you, it's the most beautiful symphony in the entire world now. You enter an absolute trance and forget the hunger and the fear. However, in this neighborhood, your music is an unforgivable sin to everyone. The neighbors bang on the metal walls, threatening to beat you up. Unable to stop, you drag the piano into the dark alley outside. You're determined to play under the moonlight no matter what happens next. But bad luck is your only faithful companion in this life completely. You don't hear the engine approaching slowly from behind you right now. It's the same van coming back to your block again tonight, unfortunately. The kidnappers need to meet their quota of human flesh for someone. They spot you before you can run away from them this time. A brutal blow to the back knocks you down onto the pavement. Your blood splatters on the blacktop beneath your broken body now. The beating is savage, releasing their frustration for working double tonight. The violent one grabs your beloved piano and sees it as a club. He lifts it high and smashes it against your head with force. The world turns red and pain explodes through your entire skull. He is about to deal the final blow with the keyboard remains. The other one stops him, screaming, "They need you alive right now. If he kills you, they'll have to look for another one tonight. The deadline is in an hour, and they can't afford to waste time." Your life is saved not by mercy, but by strict criminal management. Half dead with blood clouding your vision, you can barely see anything. The remains of your dream lie beside you, broken into pieces. You are dragged back into the darkness of the van once again. You wake up in a damp warehouse that smells of sweat and despair. Your head throbs with a dull ache that won't stop pounding now. When you try to remember how you got here, there's only void. You don't know your name or your story or anything about yourself. The blow has completely rebooted your brain, erasing everything you were. Around you, dozens of young guys stare at you with deep suspicion. Suddenly, the metal door crashes open with a deafening bang echoing everywhere. A huge man walks in, covered in tattoos from head to toe. He introduces himself as the instructor with a voice that booms loudly. You are no longer humans, but recruits in a Hitman school now. You're going to learn to kill, or you're going to die trying. A teenager stands up screaming that his dad is an important mayor. The instructor delivers a beating so brutal the kid is knocked out. The giant wipes his knuckles and says your last names don't mean anything. He drags you out to the yard under the scorching sun immediately. He orders you to run 10 laps around the entire compound right now. The rule is simple and brutal for everyone here without exception. If you stop, you get beat. And if you fall harder, you run until your lungs burn, driven only by pure fear inside. Dinner is dead silent, and only whispers begin when lights go out. One by one, the guys say their names, clinging to past identities. When it's your turn, there's an awkward silence in the dark room. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out at all from you. You don't remember who you are or where you came from. Someone in the dark lets out a nervous chuckle at your silence. He says you have the memory of a goldfish, and everyone laughs. From that night on, they call you Goldfish as your new name. That amnesia will be your best defense against the hell beginning now. The next day, your descent into hell officially begins at dawn. Your alarm clock isn't sunlight but a military scream at 4. The training program is scientifically designed to break human spirit completely. You run marathons uphill carrying a backpack full of sharp rocks. At noon, the air fills with gunpowder while you practice shooting. In the afternoon, you learn hand-to-hand combat with rusty knives. At night, you study human anatomy, memorizing the location of arteries. In this furnace of suffering, cell number 9 becomes your only sanctuary. Your cellmates transform into your only family in this hellish place now. To bury their traumatic pasts, everyone adopts new call signs for themselves. First, there's Mouse, a slick thief with hands faster than the eye. He can pick any lock and steal extra rations from the kitchen. Then there's Bear, a silent giant with a back like a wall. He's the human shield, voluntarily taking beatings to protect the weak. Finally, there's Ghost, a kid who lives in constant paranoia always. He never sleeps soundly so the rest of the group can sleep. And you are Goldfish with a damaged brain and weird superpower now. You forget physical pain almost instantly after every beating you take. They beat you, and 5 minutes later, you're smiling again like nothing. That unbreakable smile boosts your brother's morale when they're suicidal inside. Brotherhood is forged in misery, sharing dirty water and hiding bread. One night you slice your palms and mix your blood together. You swear you'll get out of this hell alive, all or none. But you aren't alone in this zoo full of dangerous animals. Cell number 4 is full of psychopaths who enjoy spilling blood. Cell number 7 is full of cold strategists planning betrayals constantly. Your gut tells you friendship between cells comes with a high price. 3 months of training culminate with a trip into the jungle. The instructor hands out maps, sniper rifles, and live ammunition to everyone. The order is simple and terrifying for all of you here. There are 4 teams, and the objective is wiping each other out. Only one team will be left standing at the end alive. Your team Cell 9 heads into the thicket, ready for war. Mouse moves in silence, disarming booby traps left by other groups. Bear holds the heavy gear, and Ghost scans the trees constantly. At nightfall, you spot Cell 7 camped out near a river. You watch them through the scope of your rifle carefully now. You see the face of a kid you shared water with. Your finger freezes on the trigger as your humanity begs you. But then you hear a distant gunshot and Cell 4 started killing. If you hesitate, your family dies right here in this jungle. Something inside you shuts off and doubt vanishes completely from your mind. You whisper the order to open fire to your squad immediately. 3 simultaneous shots break the jungle silence with deadly precision echoing. The targets drop before they even hear the sound of shots. There's no glory, just the cold efficiency of a job done. For the next 6 hours, your team ambushes survivors with precision. At dawn, you're the only ones left at the extraction zone. The instructor emerges from the shadows, walking among the fallen bodies. He gives a slight nod, looking for professionals who feel nothing. He walks up to you and looks into your empty eyes. He names you captain, saying good hitmen feel nothing when killing. Thanks to your Goldfish gift, the trauma starts to fade quickly. For the next 3 years, your life transforms into hit sequences. You aren't rookies anymore, but an elite tactical unit working together. Your coordination reaches an almost telepathic level between all 4 members. On the first big mission, the target is a rival bookkeeper. Ghost confirms the target's identity over the radio from a rooftop. Mouse, disguised as a delivery guy, goes in first to the restaurant. You and Bear go in after him, following the plan exactly. Mouse spills food on Bear on purpose, starting a fake fight. Bear shoves Mouse violently, throwing him against the bookkeeper's table hard. The bodyguards pull Mouse away, but it's already too late now. Mouse has injected a lethal dose into the bookkeeper's thighs secretly. You step in as a mediator, and everyone bails quickly afterward. 5 minutes later, the bookkeeper stops breathing due to respiratory arrest. Months later, the mission levels up, requiring brute force and violence. You intercept an armored convoy using the tactic of cloned cruisers. Bear unleashes a hail of lead that pierces the side armor. You and Mouse flank the vehicles, taking out any survivors crawling. On another occasion, the mission demands absolute stealth and silence completely. Mouse neutralizes the alarms and loops the security camera system precisely. You and Ghost slip into the master bedroom without making sound. You inject muscle relaxant into the boss's leg, paralyzing him completely. Then you use the pillow to smother him in silence. The method makes the death look like a natural heart attack. Through 1,000 days, your team becomes a sharp sword pressed. One night, while cleaning weapons in a safe house, silence breaks. Mouse looks at you with tired eyes and confesses something devastating. He can't stand the smell of blood anymore and wants out. He tells you he saved enough money and has a plan. He wants to flee north, change his identity, and open a bakery. He speaks with a passion you'd never seen in him before now. He describes how the smell of warm bread will replace fear. He asks you what your dream is with hope in his eyes. You, with your heart frozen by panic, cut him off immediately. You warn him to keep his trap shut because those thoughts poison. You remind him that in this game, the only retirement is death. He looks down, disappointed by your coldness, and says nothing more. But you know the walls have ears in this dangerous world. However, fate is cruel, and the next morning your phone rings. It's the plaza boss, and his voice is calm, which terrifies you. He tells you Mouse has disappeared with a bag of cash. He has been marked as a traitor by the organization now. The order is clear and brutal for you to execute immediately. Find him and kill him, or your whole team pays the price. You have no choice in this matter at all right now. You gather Bear and Ghost, and nobody says a single word. The air in the car is so heavy it's hard to breathe. You know Mouse better than anyone and know where he'd go. He isn't heading north, but going to his mom's grave first. You find him there, kneeling in front of a broken tombstone. When he hears your footsteps, he doesn't run away from you. He turns slowly, and there is no surprise on his face, just infinite sadness because he knows what's about to happen to him. He knows if other hitmen catch him, they'll skin him alive. He knows you are his only mercy in this cruel world. Bear looks away, unable to look at his friend right now. Ghost grits his teeth, and the decision falls on you alone. You walk up to him slowly with your gun in hand. Mouse gives you a weak smile and tells you something heartbreaking. He says at least he tried to dream unlike the rest. He asks you for one last favor before he dies here. Make it quick, he whispers, pulling a crumpled photo from his pocket. It's a drawing of the bakery that will never exist now. He presses it against his chest and closes his eyes, waiting. You raise your gun and your hand feels like it weighs. The world stops and you remember the starving days in the cell. The shared laughs, the mixed blood, the sacred oath you made. But the survival instinct is stronger than love in this moment. You pull the trigger and the shot rings out like thunder. The mouse falls and you killed him to save yourself completely. As you look at his lifeless body, you realize something terrible. A part of you, the little humanity you had left, died. After washing Mouse's blood off your hands, you lie in dark. But sleep doesn't come, and his last question echoes in your skull. What is your dream, Captain? He asked you before he died. You look at the survivors of your team, Bear and a Ghost. You ask Bear what he wants from life right now. Honestly, He answers without hesitation that he wants to be the boss. He wants so much power and money that no one touches him. You ask Ghost what he wants from this life we're living. He says he wants to be a legend, the most feared hitman. You realize with horror that you are the only one with nothing. You are an empty shell, a killing machine without any purpose. That night, you decide to use your rank and your contacts. You track down the old files from the zone where you recruited. You find the names of the 2 men who kidnapped you. They are still alive, spending their crime pensions in a neighborhood. You go for them, and it's not a social call tonight. You rip them out of their beds and take them somewhere. You take them to a soundproof basement for technical interrogation now. Pain loosens their tongues, and one of them cries, begging mercy. He screams that you are just a kid with a piano. That phrase, broken piano, acts like a master key in your brain. Suddenly a dam breaks, and memories flood back into your mind. The smell of gasoline, the sound of wood crunching against skull. And before that, the melody you played so long ago now. You remember who you were before all of this happened to you. You remember that you weren't born to hold a gun at all. You were born to create music and bring beauty to world. The memory hits you with the force of a tsunami violently. You walk out of that basement, leaving the 2 men behind. They don't matter to you anymore because you found your answer. You drive straight to the most exclusive music store in city. The salesman looks at you with fear because of your appearance. But he shuts up when you put stacks of cash on counter. You buy the best grand piano they have in the entire store. A shiny black monster that costs more than your entire life. You install it in your safe house and sit in front. Your hands full of calluses and war scars shake slightly now. You play the first note and the sound is pure and perfect. And there you stay, playing day and night, ignoring the calls. You ignore the hunger, trying to recover the year's violence stole. One day, the team gets an unusual order from the boss. It's not about taking out a person, but blowing up a vehicle. It looks like easy money for a simple job like this. Using the usual coordination, Ghost keeps watch from a distance carefully. You plant the plastic explosives and detonate the target from afar. Mission accomplished, and on the way back to base, you decide. You ask to be dropped off downtown for a concert tonight. There's a one-time concert by an international pianist performing live. For the first time in your life, you put passion before duty. Your buddies make fun of your hobby and tell you something. They'll hold on to your cut of the money and leave. You don't know that's the last time you'll see them alive.